Hey campers, Miss Laura here. I am out here at Camp Red Arrow today on kind of chilly, breezy day. And here we are at our first Creation Corner lesson. You know, a lot of times the things kids ask me is, why don't you call it nature time? Why do you think we don't call it nature time, but we call it creation time? Yeah, because in the Bible, it does talk about nature, but we like to call it creation because the very first verse of the Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And that's our verse. In the beginning, before there was anybody else, only God. Nobody made God. He has always existed. He didn't make himself. But there came a time when he created the heavens and the earth and all that is in them. Wonder why he created everything. Do you ever think about that? Because God doesn't get thirsty. He doesn't need water. He doesn't get hungry. I wonder why he created everything. And you know, that is why out here at camp, we like to have Creation Corner and have a time when you all can go out and explore, and why even at home we want you to go out and explore, because God created everything in order to make himself known. You know, that's something about God. He wants to be known, and he created everything, the Bible says, for his own glory, like his own wow, and to make himself famous and to show what he's like. It tells us that God shows what he is like in creation. In fact, in Romans, it tells us that nobody is without an excuse to know God and seek God, because even if you've never had the Bible, never had someone tell you about Jesus, we all have the world that he created to tell us about what he's like, who he is, and his character. And so today we are going to talk about the very first day of creation. And if you remember from Genesis in release time, we talked about the very first week of creation. Now remember, God is from everlasting to everlasting, so he already existed, but there came a day, the very first day, which we call Sunday, is our first day of the week. What did he create? Do you remember? I bet you do. God said, let there be light. Now, light is pretty cool. Have you ever thought about that? Like, what would we have if there was no light? One time I was in a cave out at Front Royal, and I think it's Endless Caverns that's out there, and they turned out the lights in the cave for a moment. It was pitch black. I mean, nothing. And because you're watching this, this means that your eyes work, and so you can see light. But what exactly is light? And that's what we're going to look at today. You see, light, we're going to talk about three things about light. And light, really, we can't exactly see it. What we see is the effects it has. And the first thing about light is light can be absorbed. So when light hits something, it can be absorbed. Now, because it's a chilly day, I decided I was going to wear a dark shirt. Originally, I thought I would wear my light colored Camp Red Arrow shirt. This shirt, when I wear this, I feel nice and cool. But this shirt keeps me warm. Wonder why? I bet you know. Dark colors are absorbing more light. That's why it looks dark, because the light is going into it and absorbing. So light can be absorbed. What else can light be? Yeah, light can be reflected. And we all have had that experience of looking in a mirror. Now, a mirror is so cool because actually what the mirror is doing is it is reflecting all the light that's coming onto it. So the light's coming from us, and there is our filmers right back there. So you guys know about mirrors. The thing about a mirror is it reflects all light. Look, you can see what's behind the camera because the mirror is reflecting it back. Is that cool? Okay, next. So I've got this cool little toy. You might have something like it. And inside of this toy are mirrors. And so I guess I look through this side. I guess I look through this side. So I can look in the mirror and turn it every direction. And guess what? I can see what is behind me, because right up here is a mirror. And you guys might know, what kind of, where have people used something like this for that ship that goes down under the water and then it comes up and looks around? Yep, it's a periscope. I can look around corners. You could even probably make something like this. How would you make this at home? What would you need? Yeah, maybe a tube, a valuable toilet paper or a paper towel tube, and a couple mirrors, and tape them together, and you could make yourself a periscope. So mirrors are cool, but you know, that's not the only thing reflected in light. In fact, whenever we see color, so this one is is absorbing light, but this Sunday, what color is it? Well, we see red, but what that means is all the light that's hitting it, I don't see red around me. The light's hitting it, we can't see that light. All the light's getting absorbed except the red wavelength. It's reflecting, just like the mirror reflects all the wavelengths. This one is reflecting back the red. This is reflecting back the purple, reflecting back the orange, reflecting back the purpley. Every time you see a color, what your eyes are seeing is a reflection of what you can't see, which is the light that's all around you. Isn't that amazing? I wonder what that really tells us about God. There's even a verse in the Bible about that right now when we're on earth, we are looking forward to heaven and we're seeing like in a mirror dimly. We just see a little reflection of what is going to happen and what's going to be in heaven. So, first thing was light can be absorbed, light can be reflected, and the last one that's really cool, whoops, a little water got on there, light can be refracted. And that's a big fancy word, which means, let's do an experiment and find out what it means. So, this is something kids at camp always, especially young kids, are very amazed at in the pool. They put their hand down in the pool or they look down on their feet and their hand might look like it's bent, or the part that's in the water's bigger, or even sometimes if you hold it just right, your hand goes in here and then your hand goes out this way in the water. It looks like it's broken. How does that happen? Well, you can do an experiment at home and play around with this. You need some water and a clear jar so you can see. And in your jar, looks there. In fact, I bet if you look at my hand through the jar, it might look like my fingers look bigger behind the water. But you can take a pencil or something and put it in there. And if you look right on the line between the water and the air, it will look like your pencil is broken. How does that happen? You see, light is being bent. It's being refracted. It's being, where'd my refracted button go? Uh-oh, here it is. Everything's being hidden so it doesn't blow away. It's being refracted. It's bending. Now, in this water, because water does not reflect or absorb, well, it does absorb some light, but it's mostly, the light is mostly going through it. And so it's bending and we're just seeing the bend. But sometimes water has this amazing ability to bend light in such a way that it actually breaks up the color. So just like when I see the verse on a purple because the purple is reflecting back, or I see the blue because the blue is reflecting back, water can bend light in such a way to break all the waves of light up and make a rainbow. Now, Last year in release time, we talked about Noah and the great flood and how the rainbow is a sign of God's covenant, his promise. He will never flood the whole earth again. He is faithful. So when I see a rainbow, that's one of the things I know about God's character. When I see the rainbow, it is a reminder that God is faithful. But did you know you can make a rainbow? Now, some of you have probably made a rainbow playing out in the sprinkler. A lot of the pools are closed, so you're playing in your garden hose. If you go out in the morning or the evening, sometime when the sun is not right above, but kind of coming up or going down, and you take your hose and you put it on the mist where it's making a little sparkle and just kind of play around with it until what appears in all those little droplets. Of course, you guys have seen that, a rainbow, and then you ought to have that awe. Wow, look, there's a rainbow. The light is being broken up. It's bending, it's refracting. But you can make one even a little easier. So just take a pan, any old pan, and fill it up with water. Try not to spill like I am. Of course, always ask Mom or Dad's permission whenever you use things. And take your mirror and you put it in your water kind of at an angle. Okay, so it's not flat, it's at an angle. And then take something white. I'll just use the back of this paper. Take a piece of paper or something white. Now you might have to play with it, but the sun's going to shine down through the water onto the mirror, and it's going to get bent in the water. And the mirror is going to reflect the bend back out onto the piece of paper. So why isn't it working now? It's a cloudy day, unfortunately, so we couldn't do this in real life. But you could do it, and you could film it, and you could share it with us. Hashtag Camp Red Arrow 2020, and you might win a prize. Oh, I forgot something else about this bending of light. You know, I wear glasses. Just like that water makes the pen look bigger, that's how glasses, telescopes, microscopes, the lens is bent to take in the light and bend the light to make it bigger or smaller in the case of a microscope, way bigger in the case of a telescope, and big enough for me with my old eyes to be able to see. So I'll bet if you look around your house, you could find some mirrors that you can play around with the light, bouncing the light, reflecting the light, refracting the light, bending the light, making a rainbow. Do some experiments. And the best thing you could do is get out into the God's world, his creation. And if you don't want to make a rainbow, how about find a rainbow? And I don't mean just a rainbow in the sky after a storm, although we do have those in the summertime. That's an especially good time to look for a rainbow. But I mean, just explore. Find some things with color that is reflecting back to you. Maybe it's a butterfly, a flower, a tree, I don't know, a bug even. Find something really colorful. Take a picture, draw a picture, share it with us, because we will be giving away prizes randomly drawn from everybody who participates. Send it in a comment, send it in an email. We'll be posting them online, and let us know what you're doing at Camp at Home. So see you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.